back to another edition of Kenton and Habiba coming to you live. So I put on a little note on the community center of YouTube saying that we would be on here today at 5. We're a little bit late, but that's okay. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. If you're watching, say hello when you come on here. We are here waiting for you. So I have some questions, as you guys have seen from the title. Oh, someone says hello, Aliyu Ahmed. Is that right?
Ahmed.
Is that Ahmed? Yes. Hello, hello. So as you may have seen from the title, I have here GQ Married Couples Quiz. So we're going to keep this kind of light, rapid fire. Kenton doesn't know the questions. And usually I ask him, I say, hey, Kenton, we're going to do live. Would you like to come up with some questions, or do you have something you want to ask or we can talk about? He usually goes, no, I'll let you do it.
No, because a lot of stuff that I talk about stuff is heavy or is, not light, and I understand that.
Sure.
At the end of a long week,
Right.
you want to delve into.
Right. And hey, you want to talk
stuff.
about anything heavy, you can do that too.
But, it's also what the audience wants too.
Right. The audience likes to hear from Kenton. They love Kenton's wisdom.
No.
Majority of the audience, right? A thumbs up if you really, or leave a comment if you like or you enjoy hearing some of Kenton's thoughts about, politics, religion, the world.
I don't talk those stuff.
Yes, you do. What, now you're going to come up here and be mute?
No, I'm just saying,
Anyway.
I
So I got these GQ questions, couples questions that I thought would be fun to talk about or to bring up. So let's just get started. Let me just get started. Okay, number one. When did you know you were in love? Well, these are going to be rapid fire. I got a lot of questions.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
When
in
did
love
you
with
know
what?
you were in love?
I don't know.
Not in love with yourself, in love with me.
Stupid. Hey, so you gotta qualify. How do you know when you're in love? I mean,
I didn't say how do they know they're in love. How did you know you were in love?
I didn't know. It's a process, isn't it? I mean, it's different for everyone. For me, I just, I guess eventually, I guess when I realized that I cared less for myself and cared more for the other person. How's that?
That's nice. That's nice and deep. That sounds like a Kenton kind of answer. That sounds deep. By the way, I got these questions from there's an actual series called GQ Couples Quiz. It's not called Married's Quiz.
See, well, wait. See, Miss Ahmed said, "How can you not know?" Well, easy. No, it's not easy. But how can? That's a good point. If you flip it, how can you not know if you're not in love? Well, one is the opposite. If you, for example, if you like the feeling of being in love, sometimes that's what happens. You mistake the feeling, which is like the excitement, the newness.
Yeah.
The other person. It's not that you're in love, but you're in love with the thought of being in love.
Right. Or you like telling people you're with someone.
Right.
You like the role. You like the role of the girlfriend, or the role of the wife. And you like the responses that you get when you tell people these things. But anyway,
Right.
Go
so
ahead.
That's what I'm saying. It's the response or your action is so different than, oh, this is my girl and or this is my partner and so forth. But so how you know you're not in love or you not know is again is basically the very reasons of it. Oh, and like I said, it's just like that. If being in love also means that you're primarily focused on your needs, in a balancing relationship where it's just about what is that other person's doing for me, or it's a more transactional. Sometimes also, people, what is actually is love? That's the other thing too. Is it, a transactional type of relationship where you do something for me and I do something for you.
Right, it's very exactly
Or it's
transactional. It's always about what you're going to get out of it versus.
Right. I mean, you should get something out of it. I mean, what's the point of going into a relationship and where it's always you're being extracted from? It's always something where it has to be a give and take. There has to be a balance. That's what I'm saying. And and you're learning from it and you're growing from it.
Okay, so you didn't answer the question again. See, you
Yeah.
come and you hijack my questions.
I know, Jack. I'm responding to the audience, and it was a very good thing. How do you not know?
Okay.
So these are also critical things, because sometimes what happens, you get in a relationship and you
Right.
think you're in love, and many times that's what happens. You meet someone, you feel compatible. You're like, okay, can this go to the next level? But somewhere in the back of your minds, it's just, you start convincing yourself, well, this person has
Right.
these characteristics, and you start creating like a balance sheet, but are you in love? And so again, this is also a concept of like
Right. I
romantic
like
love.
that person,
Yeah.
or I enjoy that person.
I spend
but
time
I'm
with
not
them.
really in love with them. There's
Yeah.
the times where people have those.
It's that chemistry, and that's the other thing, and then that is that's not something that you can sit there and then start, rationally. It's like the saying, the heart wants what it wants, and there's that chemistry, that connection,
Right.
that happens.
Right. So back to the 19-year. Oh, no. Were you 19 when we decided to get married? No. We
No.
were 20. Yeah, I was 22, maybe 22, and you were 23. Around the time when we decided to get married without telling anyone. Or that's not how you remember? But anyway, yeah, I remember feeling so sad because Kenton was away. We had been together. We were always together from the time we knew each other. And then he ended up going to Georgia for, I guess, military training, right?
Yeah, Fort Benning.
Fort Benning, Georgia. And I was alone in California at the time because I had, look what you're doing to the camera. So anyway, yeah, here I was by myself. I mean, I was in school, I was working, so I was independent. I was driving, I was living in an apartment, but we had been together, and then here he was away, and I was by myself, and I was sitting here eating and watching a movie, watching this emotional movie where this couple, the boyfriend ends up dying in the movie. And I watched that and I was thinking, life is so short. Here I am by myself, and I really love this person. He's far away, and you know what? Let's get married. Let's just get married. I can't be without him. I cannot be without him. And I think that was the moment I realized, wow, I'm in love with this person, and I could choose to be with anyone at this point. And I have guys that are totally into me and constantly want to, take me out and do things with me and whatever, but I wasn't interested. Kenton rubbing his head. He thinks I'm about to embarrass him.
No, I mean, no.
I wasn't interested.
They want to do things.
Well, they did want to do things, a lot of them
right.
wanted to do things. But anyway, the point is that in that moment alone, watching this stupid movie, I decided we needed to get married. And I called you up and I said we should get married. I wonder, now when I think about it, do you remember where you were and what your thoughts were back then? Do you remember?
No.
Really? You don't
Maybe
remember?
I do. I don't know.
You don't want to talk about it, but that's okay.
There's a lot going on.
Anyway, I'm going to go back to my program.
Yeah, go back to your
What
program.
advice do you wish you had gotten about marriage? What advice do you wish you had gotten about marriage?
I don't know. I mean, I wish I'd gotten about it. I don't think it would have been relevant. I mean, advice I wish I've gotten.
Right.
I know what advice I would give to our kids.
Okay. Or another way I could put the question is, what is the secret to a happy marriage? That's a generic question, I know.
I mean,
What's the secret to a happy marriage?
Well, honest communication. I mean, that's first and foremost.
Right.
I mean, you have to build trust. Trust is very important. and then forgiveness. I mean, we all make mistakes. It's just making sure that, that you do also draw boundaries, and that it's healthy and respectful. So, like, if a partner steps out, basically cheats, lies, that kind of stuff, then those are deal breakers. Um, Hurts the children, stuff like that. I mean, those are clear. You got to create also boundaries, and also, boundaries for yourself as well. To make sure that it's healthy and functional.
Right.
But I think communication is important, and I think that's why that's part of the challenge of relationships in general. It's just, understanding where each one's coming from. That's where conflict comes in, because you have misunderstandings. You also have
Right. Because also people have different ways of communicating. Honestly, I feel like in general, women communicate very differently than men. And there are a lot of times where we can get in our head and we assume that they should know better, or that, they intentionally are hurting our feelings, or they did certain things that we just assume were intentional. When a lot of times I honestly think with men, you got to really spell it out. You really got to let them know what it is that you want, or what it is that you do not prefer, or what it is that you expect, and not assume that they really know, because a lot of times they don't know, and you just built this thing up in your head that they were trying to hurt you, or that they should have known better. They should have known I wanted flowers on this occasion, or they should have known this is what I wanted them to say or do. And no, they don't. They don't. That's one thing I've come to learn. That, yeah, we definitely communicate differently. And also not to take things so personally, each of us is coming with our own set of childhood traumas and burdens. And sometimes, your spouse might say something and you take it so personal, like, wow, how mean and how awful of them, when really it's just that little wounded child that is talking. And sometimes you have to step back and go, I'll let that person, act up right now. Let them cool off, and then we can come back and, talk about it like mature adults. But let them have that moment where they can be a little bit, what's the word, immature. We're not always going to be mature at the same time,
Yeah.
or at the right time.
But on the other hand, too, though, always be conscious, though, that if it's a continuous thing, if
Right.
it's continuous disrespect, if it's abusive,
Right.
you can't tolerate that. Again,
Right.
there's no reason to be in a toxic. I mean, there's one thing when it's an occasional misunderstanding,
Right.
especially with the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving and stuff. In-laws, sometimes, someone says something, it happens. That's what that's what family's for, is to just, have those type of tensions and conflict. But if it's something that's continuous, it's where if every time you see that person and it doesn't bring a smile to your face, or you feel the tension, that's when you need to sit down and really start having a self-evaluation. It's like, what is this? Or if you're always have to constantly make excuses for the behavior, like if he or she or your partner is, every once in a while, if, for example, you forget the flowers, but if that person is consistently not thinking,
Right. Not thinking
not
about your
thinking about
needs.
your needs, but fulfills the needs for, say, someone else,
Right.
a friend, say,
Right.
a
Yeah, it's funny. I just saw this
female
little
friend or
video
something,
clip.
and-
Video clip. I think it was a parody or a joke, where this man is constantly. They show the contrast between the gifts he gives to his wife and the gifts he gives to his mistress. And I was even thinking to myself, well, first of all, why does she allow this man to have a mistress? But it just, I think it was just highlighting how different men can be when it comes to one person over the other.
So wait. So he had a mistress?
Right. He's standing in the middle. He's giving his wife, who's holding a baby, he's giving her like a pot. he buys her like a pot or he buys her a broom.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he buys the mistress designer goods and he's giving her
But
gift bags.
it's not real though. It was like
No, that's what I was saying.
Well, that don't make
But
any
some
sense.
some men do that.
Because I guarantee you, if I was sitting there and I had a mistress and I gave you a pot, before I even can turn around, you would hit me with that pot. So all I'm doing is giving you a weapon and knock me in the side of my head.
Right.
So
I don't know if I made that better or worse.
that's
I don't know, whatever.
But one of the comments that came up was that another thing is that also, yeah, if someone shuts you down, when you're trying to express yourself, or what they're talking about now is something common is gaslighting. So where they discount you and they're like, oh, you don't make any sense, you're not,
Right.
or they diminish you. Yeah, that's a serious, and that's in any relationship, even a friendship or anything like that. That doesn't mean that someone shouldn't disagree with you, but it should be in a healthy, productive manner, not
Right.
where they're cussing you out and they're telling you, oh, you're stupid. With
Right. Or what I've seen
unless you're really
stereotypically.
stupid.
Yeah. He's silly.
You could be stupid. You could be
Right, you could be stupid, but
I mean,
no.
if you're doing something stupid, you're gonna hurt yourself.
No, like seriously, like I often see the stereotype with like men and women. A woman gets upset about a legit or, a legit real problem. And a guy tends to invalidate her by saying, oh, you're just on your period. Oh, you're just an emotional woman. Oh, just go sleep. It's like the constant,
Yeah.
like sort of put down, like because you're female.
Yeah.
Oh, what you have to say is not, is not valid, is not real. Oh, you're just crazy,
Yeah.
and you see that in a couple of relationships. She's just not herself right now. Like, no, maybe she has a valid point. Maybe you just need to listen more. Maybe she's just a little bit more emotional than you expect her to be, but that doesn't mean her points or her concerns aren't, real and valid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because everyone has different ways of communicating. It's not,
Right.
and also it depends also on the subject matter too. I mean, but that's also part of it again is communication, and it's also, operating from that. Your partner is operating from good intentions. Now, if you don't feel that they have good intentions, then that's going to be a point where you need to really start reconsidering, the relationship, because relationships take work, and so you're putting
Right.
in a lot of energy and so forth. Think about it. You go to work all day, you deal with people all day, you're exhausted. So then to come home and have a partner, a spouse that also just drains you or creates a toxic environment, and ultimately, if you have children, it's not healthy,
Right.
and the children are innocent parties to it. So it's like so for your own health, you
Right.
have to also work.
You're
with
right.
it.
Some relationships are not worth holding on to.
Yeah.
They can be toxic or bad for your mental health,
Yeah.
and you'd have to know when to protect yourself.
Exactly.
But I guess overall, we're dealing with,
Just
or
the
let's,
average,
and
it's-
the assumption is whoever's watching this is in a happy or well-connected relationship, and you're good, hopefully.
And you don't need our advice. You're good. See? So go live
All
it.
right.
Go live the dream.
No, but every marriage, even when you love the person, is
Yeah,
work, like
it's
you
work.
said.
It's work. It's
Okay.
work.
What do we argue about the most besides money? I know you're going to say money.
Well, that's the number one.
Right, that's the number one.
Every relationship.
Right. Besides money, what do we argue about the most?
My weight. You harass me about my weight.
Your weight. It's not so much your weight. It's more like my health concerns. It's not really the weight. It's what you eat that makes me worry about your health.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Right.
While I'm eating. That's fine. I mean, it's,
So to Kenton's family, if you're watching this, just know I do not contribute to Kenton's weights. Okay.
yeah.
Part of it
No,
is
that's fine.
understandably, part of it is that he is under a lot of stress. And as you know, a lot of people stress eat. When they're nervous, they eat. When they're worried, they eat. And that's Kenton. He's literally studying or working, and something has to be in his mouth nonstop. Like I literally can be in my office and I can hear, if I hear a crinkle, If I hear this, I know he's opening a packet of something. And so, it's a
So that's why it's important that either you invest in like good headphones for your partner, or you can try to play loud music. Reggae music's good to
Right.
hide rappers and stuff like that.
right.
So,
But no, seriously. So
I'm being
maybe
serious.
that's what we argue about the most, you would say, besides money. We argue about your weight or food.
But I don't think
Really?
arguing. I mean, it's not like arguing.
No,
It's
not
just
really
that-
heavy arguing.
No,
no.
it's more like I'm like a petulant child. You just see me. It's like, what are you eating? What you got in your hand? Nothing. I mean, it's like that's not arguing because
No,
it's just more,
right.
So no, it's just again, it's difference in. You know what? I think sometimes though we do have. If we have disagreements, it's sometimes what it is also just artistic disagreement, because I tend to approach things from a technical perspective, and you're you're a very creative, free-flowing spirit, so you want to see the whole, like you see the forest, and I
Sure.
look at trees, I step back, but that's the whole thing, and sometimes we'll have that kind of tension where we're not communicating, and I'm not being clear enough, and I do tend to go into the weeds on things versus just saying, why didn't you say that in the first place?
Right.
So I tend to over-explain sometimes. So I get it. So
Okay. Let's see. What nicknames? These questions are going to be all over the place, okay?
Yeah.
No. What nicknames do I call you?
Fool.
I do not. I do not. I don't. No, I do not. I do not. What nicknames do I lovingly call you
I don't
if I
know.
need to qualify?
I don't. I mean, that's silly. Those things are silly.
No, well, tell that to GQ. That's what they those silly questions.
But GQ isn't what it used to be. It used to be a man's magazine. Now they got all his feelings in it now and stuff.
No, it was really hard sometimes to find some of these questions that were for people who've been married for a long time, because some of these
Well, that's
questions
hard to find
were
people married for a long time.
true.
That's one.
Right. A lot of these
Okay.
questions seem to be like to people who are dating or they just got together
Well,
a
that's
year or
because-
two ago.
But that's
So-
because that's the biggest audience. People
Right.
are dating. Everyone's constantly dating. And then
Right,
you
we're
have
all the
apps.
married people who've been married and in committed relationships for more than 5 years. For more than 10 years.
It's tough. No, it's tough.
Right.
It narrows down. I mean, there truly is like that 5-7 year deal.
Right.
It's also when you have kids. I mean, it's a lot. It's work. It's
Right.
a lot. So I mean, they're there, but it's like and the thing too is that I think with the pressure of social media, there's always like the grass is greener on the other side. So it's like, hey, if I can swipe. Oh, there's someone else. Oh, there's this perfect person out there. There's no perfect person. Everyone's got issues,
Right.
and definitely you don't see that on social media and stuff because it's like the best side, right?
Right.
So things. Then when you get in a relationship, you find out, oh wait a minute, this person does this, or I didn't realize they're kind of like this, or they think of things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get out of that honeymoon period where it's all new,
Right.
then that's where the work comes in. It's like now it's when you.
Okay, honeymoon is over. Answer the question.
What's the question?
You see, you're not paying attention.
No, I am
Okay,
paying attention.
just
I don't want to
answer the
answer
question
it.
so
No,
we
I don't
can
want to
move
answer
on.
it. No,
So
then
we
move
can
on.
move on.
That's why you go to the next one. I don't nicknames.
Honey, boo, boo boo.
Doo doo, poo poo. Who
Okay.
knew?
All right. What's your favorite food I cook for you? What's the favorite food I cook for you?
Favorite food?
Yeah.
All foods are favorite food.
Oh.
Didn't we just talk about my weight? Do I look like I have very specific dietary preferences? No. No, I don't.
Let me move this camera back because
No,
I feel like
okay.
it's making Both of us look bigger than we
No,
are.
we are bigger. Especially me. Shoot. Now that we're going in the winter, you gotta embrace yourself. That's the other thing. It's so self-critical. I mean, yeah, I can do better. I just got work to do.
Okay, what is your favorite food
I mean,
that I cook for you?
Well, when you cook,
When I cook.
well, because you're busy, so it's
Okay,
hard. I
when,
mean,
when I cook, what's your favorite?
I mean, like groundnut stew. Your African groundnut stew. You do that. I like moi moi.
Moi moi, I haven't done that in a
I
while.
actually like that.
Really?
I enjoy that. Yeah, I
For
do.
those who don't know, that's steamed bean cakes. They're kind of like steamed puddings or steamed bean cakes. That's Nigerian, actually. That's West African.
Yeah, I like that, and then and I mean, when you throw stuff together, I mean, some things are
Right.
not just like a recipe. It's
Right.
like any type of stewed.
Right. In
food.
fact, most of the time, honestly, I'm the type that doesn't really cook with a recipe
Yeah,
in mind. I like the creativity of just give me a bunch of ingredients and I'm gonna make something really nice with it. That's what I really enjoy. Like I
Yeah.
often like in my head pretend I'm on some sort of cooking show and I've been given, 5 or 6 ingredients. Habiba, what will you make with it? And then I whip something up.
Yeah.
But I think that's also probably the reality of a lot of ethnic mothers or people who have limited means, even because you make do something
With
out
what
of
you have.
nothing.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
You make do with what you have, and you make something amazing with it.
Yeah. So, but
Okay, next part. What's your favorite part of my body?
why are we talking about that stuff on? I'm not talking about that on camera.
Why? Is it something nasty?
Well, first of all, I didn't marry a part of the body, so
Right.
it's like
I told you these are the GQ questions I saw.
yeah, but see that's not.
All right, you don't have a favorite part?
Well, I do. Your mind.
Oh, see, I knew it was going to be something deep like that, first of all. So that's why I wasn't afraid to ask the question.
Yeah.
Because I knew you weren't going to say something like superficial or nasty.
Of course not. Why would I? I'm just a regular guy.
All right.
Man, these questions are written by guys in skinny jeans.
Okay, I threw in some of my own questions. What's the last
knew
book
it.
you read? The last book you read?
Last book I read?
Outside of schoolwork.
Oh, outside of school.
Right.
Let's see. The last one I read. Everything's within school. I mean, now I'm kind of reading. No, that's school too.
Well, okay. What's the last interesting book at school you were? Because he's got so much between work and law school. It's like a ton of reading, so it doesn't leave him much time for.
Well, I mean, I
casual
read.
reading.
Well, yeah. No, I read Eviction.
What's that?
Well, it's about the housing, not just the housing crisis, but just how systemic homelessness and is created.
Wow.
Through also, especially in people of color, because for example, like the lending laws, created where African Americans and people of color, Latinos and stuff, they couldn't get loans to purchase homes, so they created a permanent class of renters. And so, and it was deliberate in order to then create that kind of rental markets and stuff like that. So, no, what it is, you find, that again, many things are not, certain groups will argue that it's the individual, and in some aspect it is, but in many aspects it's also the system. It creates
It's a
that
collective.
way. Yeah, exactly. Like, just like how you have homeowner associations, in the early stages were designed not because they want to keep, properties rates up, is to keep certain groups out. And, and with the
And I
argument of
think
keeping
now
them
we
out.
all know that, right? I think most of
Yeah,
us pretty
yeah.
much know that. A lot of these organizations and things
Yeah.
are set up.
But the thing was that again, it's deeper. It's not it's not just on it's on a state level. It's on a federal level. I mean, it was like that's why it's systemic. So yeah, so it's that, and so reading stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I read a lot of heavy stuff. So
Right.
So I haven't read anything light.
Okay. What's my favorite sport?
Sport?
Mm-hmm.
You have a sport?
That was a trick question.
Yeah, it's not a sport. Harassing your kids, your daughter. That's a sport. I mean, sports. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't.
No,
Questions
I
aren't
mean
relevant.
that's
I know. It's just favorite sport.
right. No, actually, that was one of the GQ questions because a lot of these celebrities and sports people they have their
No, I mean, there's people.
sports,
Yeah, there.
but
I mean, there
apparently
are
Kenton
couples
and
that.
Habiba aren't really into sports that much. Clearly,
Eating's a sport.
if eating was a sport,
No,
then
no,
yeah,
we're not.
ding 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 ding.
So, but no.
Okay.
Everyone's gotta have something.
You know what's funny? This reminded me of the other day, and this is about to embarrass you. The other day, I said to him, hey, hopefully you guys saw it, the key lime pie video. I made a key lime pie. So I said to Ken, key lime pie or sex? And he looks at me and he goes, but it's key lime pie. That should tell you.
That's how you know when you're getting older. When you get older and someone dangles something,
Key lime pie or sex. But it's key lime pie.
But it's apple pie a la mode. Hey, at least it's pie. I mean, if it was like, rum or sex, unless rum with sex, I don't know.
Okay. What's the most annoying thing I do? We've been married now for 25 years.
The
Okay.
most?
Yeah, what's the most yeah. Okay, 2 annoying things I do since 1 is not good enough.
I don't know. Annoying?
Mm-hmm.
Asking me questions.
No, that's not the most annoying thing I do. First of all, I ask questions. I've always asked questions.
I mean, annoying?
Mm-hmm. Annoying. Oh, I'm late sometimes. I think that's probably annoying.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right, that's annoying to you.
A little bit.
Okay, what else?
That's it. Yes.
Why are you being shy?
I'm not shy. It's about. Remember, we had an episode as we were talking about like dangerous questions, and this is one of them. So when everyone's, it's just like the same thing. Like, does this outfit makes me look fat, or do I look bad in this, or what about me? Oh, here's a dangerous question. What about me you would like to change? This is when you like start having like a health issue come up, start coughing and stuff. So what's the next question?
Kenton, okay. How do you know when I am mad at you?
When you're yelling at me. What are you talking about? How do I know? I know, you just have to look at me, That's the thing, man. How do I know? If I didn't know you were mad at me, then we have some serious trouble.
Okay.
So.
All right, so it's a look?
Man, it's a look. It's how you breathe. I don't know. It's just the whole.
How I breathe?
I don't know.
How
I just know.
breathe?
I don't know. You just know. Same way like a dog knows that there's a fire truck coming. There's trouble coming. That's all I know. I just know.
All right. What are my biggest fears, or what do you think are some of my biggest fears, or what am I scared of?
Besides, like what? Like you're talking about physical fears, like height?
I don't know, anything that you think I'm really scared of, or maybe a little deeper than physical height.
Well, I mean, it's like most people's fears. I mean, fear of not being good enough. I mean, fear of not being successful in whatever endeavor you want to do. Which is really just a fear of inadequacy. I think that's the thing that creates anxiety for many people. And so it's totally understandable. I think. And sometimes that can, I think that creates that self-doubt and second guessing and, self-pillarizing where you're just basically being your worst critic to yourself.
Right.
And I think that's what we do sometimes. We beat up ourselves more than it is worth. There's a difference between being critical because you're trying to be better,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not learning from that criticism. That's how you know that criticism is not helpful. Is because you're not sitting there going like, okay, I could do better. What can I do better? You outline the things that, okay, this is what I need to do, and then you move on.
Right.
Self-criticism, where it's dysfunctional, is when you sit there and you start using, I could have done better. I suck.
Mm.
I wish I was better. I'm not as good as. See, you start using negative language
Right.
versus positive language of learning. It's more of a negative self cycle
Right.
of self defeat.
Right.
That's how you tell that.
Yeah,
you're
and they
moving
say
toward that.
over and over again, these voices that you have in your
Yeah.
head are very powerful and can
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
very detrimental if it's constantly negative.
And that's where sometimes therapy will help,
Mhm.
because many times you find that these loops, they stem from, like you're talking about, childhood trauma,
Right.
past negative relationships, like your first relationship that you were in, like maybe that you were truly in love and you were connected to someone, and then you were betrayed, and then what happens, that in many ways you adopted that individual's negative perception of you that's unwarranted, but you said, I must have did something, maybe I didn't earn his or her love, or I wasn't good enough, and then you create that, versus the point is that, hey, sometimes things happen, you grew apart, that person wasn't worthy of your love, or it wasn't meant to be, because you
Right.
weren't in the place that it was healthy enough. So I mean, there's a whole variety of different reasons, but sometimes that's where you need a third objective party to help you bring those things out in a way that can be managed, versus a self-help book, because those sometimes they're not.
Right. So yeah, I think in all, I mean, and those are definitely very relevant and real, um, scenarios that you created. They're not necessarily my scenario
No, we're just talking
of
about.
breaking my heart or anything like that. No, that for me though, yeah, if I had to pinpoint it, I would say one of my biggest fears is realizing I've lived this life and I didn't accomplish what God had intended for me to do, because I really feel like part of our role as human beings is to figure out what it is we were put on this earth to do, and to do it well. A lot of us spend most of our life chasing careers or chasing dreams or chasing people that aren't really aligned with what our intention is. And we do it because we think that's what is expected of us, or we do it because it looks good for other people instead of what we were intended to put on this earth to do. So that's usually one of my biggest fears. And sometimes that goes with the idea of I lived and I wasn't relevant, but not relevant in a vain way, relevant more like I didn't contribute something, that meant anything to other people. So that is definitely like a fear.
Yeah, well, because again, that comes from, and that's a healthy fear in a sense, that because it comes from that place where, value system, where you want to leave the world a better place than how you
Right.
found it, right?
Right.
So you're constantly looking at, okay, so I found it this way. How do I add value to it? Or how do I make a difference? But sometimes what it is that, we don't realize that we are adding value. It's just not described, or it's not measured in the way that we think. For example, like in the lives of children, or if you're an adult caregiver and you're taking care of your parents, and you're thinking, oh, look at my life, I'm not doing, but you're making a difference because you're helping, someone in need, or you're being a good friend to someone that's in grief or something like that. And there's ways that you may not even think that you're making a
Right.
contribution, because sometimes it's amazing. If you do go out and put yourself out there and make a positive impact, you are making an impact, even if it's to a stranger, where you're in a fast food line and you're just like, you know what, I'll pay for the person behind me. Here's the extra $6. Pay it forward. You don't know that that person was on their last dime, that you
Right.
just covered for them. So, I mean, there's different ways. And so as we go into Thanksgiving, it's the same thing like that. So, sometimes we want to do something, again, that's part of the social media.
Grandiose
Oh,
and
yeah.
amazing, and
Hi,
it can
hey,
be little things.
you know what? I met you yesterday, and you said you've been tired of taking the bus. Well, here's your car, and you want to capture that on social media, and you want to put that in there and say, "Look at me, I'm this." Well, I'm not taking it away. That's great, but again, everyone can contribute in their own way. It doesn't necessarily have to be. If you can do that, that's fantastic.
Right.
But if you can, again, just pick up the phone and just even call someone that is struggling or is isolated or is alone, or just reaching out to an old friend that you haven't talked to in a while and say, hey, how you doing? It's actually those little things that make a difference. You don't think
Right.
about it.
So, all right, I'll flip it. Since we've already talked to that point in depth, what is a fear of yours? A real fear of yours?
What's a real fear of mine?
Mm-hmm.
Same as yours.
No. You can't use that.
Why?
No, you
Why
can't
not?
use
It's a
that.
common fear.
Right. Okay. It's a common one fear. I'm sure there's more than that. All right. Let's hear a real fear of yours.
A real fear?
Mm-hmm.
You thinking that I cheated on you, and you go ahead and do a Lorena Bobbitt and
What?
cut my.
Cut your penis off.
That's a fear. That would keep anyone awake.
Please, are you being serious? You're not being serious.
You said a fear, right?
Right. I said, well,
I thought about it, and I felt scared, and I got nervous. I feel, I'm feeling flush. That's a real fear.
I mean, is it a real legit fear? I guess it could be,
Do the
because
fears have to
I
be
would
legit?
go absolutely bananas.
See, so it's
Crazy.
rooted in a possible reality if that happens. So therefore, see. So
I think there was a time. There was a time where I actually thought you had cheated. There was a time, and I just went.
it was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. You can tell him. I don't care. You
No,
can tell
I
him.
don't tell 'em. It's ridiculous. That shows you.
That's why I say women, we can get in our mind. We can get in our mind and create, or at least I can, create a whole story in my head of what happens.
Lack of sleep too when you're working third shift.
Right, but this was
the
many,
hospital.
many years ago. Did we have kids?
Yeah, it was
I went away somewhere.
No, this was in New York, upstate New York.
Uh-huh.
And I remember clearly, as clear as day,
Okay.
because I was fearful for my life. It was nuts. I was on the couch taking a nap. Kids were napping. They were young.
Right.
And you come home, or you did, yeah. You
So
came
where was I?
And then all of a sudden you walk in and
No, I mean, had I gone away for a few days is what I'm trying to remember.
No, I think
or just a regular
it's a
day at
regular
work.
day at work.
Okay.
And then you come, you're tired, and then then you sit there, and then you came in, and you're like, you just started acting weird, crazy. You said you found this hair, blonde hair,
Right.
and I was like, what the?
I found a piece of blonde hair in the house. Was it in the bed?
No, it was like I don't know where you found it. It was like on a robe, or I don't know what it is. It was just
Yeah,
insane.
it was many years ago. I basically found a piece of blonde hair in the house. And I had created this story that this motherfucker,
People.
excuse my language, his mother effer, we were younger, must be cheating. And I think I picked up something. I picked up a weapon.
I don't know what it is.
But that's how I can go from 0 to 100.
Anyways,
Anyway.
so all I know is that I was just lying there, and then it's funny, it's like there's an inner voice in you, like they say, that sixth sense, like the hairs on the back of your neck. And I thought she was joking, but there's something inside of me said, like, hey man, danger, danger, Will Robinson. She ain't playing. I think she's about to lose her mind. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to talk this one off the cliff here. And I somehow just was like, look, that doesn't make any sense. I'm home with the kids.
Right.
Blah blah blah. I don't know what it is. The long story short is that nope, that wasn't happening at all. And
But you had to really calm me down and be careful with your words.
yes, this is where you have to utilize de-escalation techniques, and mirroring patterns. She's talking, you use the same tone. You're like you have to slow down your speech pattern, control your rate of breathing.
CIA?
I mean, you just got you guys got see this is where you get yourself in trouble. If you start escalating, then it goes south.
Right.
So then you'd be a single mother. Right there.
Anyway, comment if you've ever thought your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend was cheating, but they really weren't. Okay. All right. So let me see.
Yeah. It was nuts.
Ooh, who's your celebrity crush? Who's your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush?
Yeah. Either maybe when you were younger or now. It's totally fine.
Oh, of course, it's totally fine because it's just I mean, I don't know. I mean, Halle Berry.
Halle Berry?
Yeah, so.
Men still crushing over Halle Berry?
Yeah, man. Shoot, man, yeah, and she's such a nice person too.
He talking about her like he met her personally.
Yeah.
She's such a nice person.
She's a nice person.
Okay, besides Halle Berry.
I mean, besides this whole litany.
Yeah, give me one more.
I mean, Sofia Vergara. Sofia Vergara.
Oh, the little chatty Spanish girl? Spanish woman.
From Modern Family.
Modern Family.
Yeah, she's very nice. And she put through, I think his name was Jerry Hammond for America Got Talent. She golden buzzed him. So, But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like nice people.
Okay. What's my guilty pleasure TV shows? TV shows or...
Do you have time to watch TV shows?
Or stuff you find me watching that you're like, why are you doing this?
I don't know, they're TV shows. I mean, you watch stuff, on topics and stuff. I don't know if you really watch shows.
Right.
Yeah, because you're not...
Not like Maria, my daughter, who likes to watch...
600 Pound
600 Pound Life.
I think that's because she's thinking of me. That's why.
She's always watching 600 Pound Life. I'm like, what is the obsession? She'll be sitting there watching this. I don't know why, but that's what she likes to do. Anyway, lately, what would you say I've been watching a lot that you're telling me not to watch? The Astro, the whole thing about Travis Scott and the whole Astro world.
It's
just...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the thing is with me is, again, I can be a very emotional or sensitive person. And then, watching all these stories, the horrific stories of all those young people that died at the concert and just the conditions and how irresponsible the artist has been. And, at first I was trying to be really balanced about my opinion and what I thought, because I was like, we shouldn't judge him, the artist, until all the facts come out. But the more and more you hear the stories and you see footage about his behavior and some of the things he says, it's just, I cannot. But anyway, the point is that I'll be watching that and I'll get so riled up right before bedtime. Right before bedtime, I'll come and I want to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, and the thing is your bedtime is like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So that's the other thing. We kind of run opposite schedules. She works best. She's a night owl, so you work best late into the night.
Right.
And my day starts very early, then goes late in the night. So. But yeah, you come in and you want to have a conversation at 5 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so I have to try to be patient about that. But that's challenging. That I think that would be a challenge.
All right. What is your guilty pleasure TV shows?
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not really want. That's the thing. I can't. Well, I mean, I do
If
binge.
you have a
No, if
minute,
I do
right.
binge, no, I do binge because they're short. So
Right.
it's so I don't watch shows that are
Super long,
long
right.
running. Yeah, but no, I like like Narcos on Netflix.
Narcos. What's
Yeah.
that? For those who don't know.
Oh, well, it's about the drug cartel, and it's a drama, but it interweaves, history. And so the newest this season is Narcos Mexico, and it's really like the rise of El Chapo, and the Juarez cartel, and Sinaloa, and it's just that, but it's also about, again, at the time, this is the 80s and 90s. So
Right.
in a way too, it's like historical references of us, where the crack cocaine and how it works and how it's coming from Colombia, and a lot of our drug laws, will penalize that. So it's interesting. It's like, people would get life sentences for, like an ounce of crack cocaine, but but they wouldn't get. But if it was powdered cocaine, the sentencing guidelines were less.
Yeah.
Overweight,
Wow.
because the whole
Stuff
point is
I
that
don't understand.
no, because they're targeting poorer communities where crack cocaine is, and stuff. And
The
and-
rock cocaine.
yeah,
right.
rock cocaine. Yeah, exactly. So, and of course, again, if New York City in the 80s and
Yeah.
in the 90s, it was rough.
Yeah.
So, and Baltimore, Philadelphia, I mean, it was just like, so, so there's some legitimate reasons why, that they were targeting those areas, especially with high crime and violence and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so yeah, again, so, not like
So that's
stuff.
one show.
Yeah, that's one. So yeah. So
You like
Narcos.
food shows too.
I haven't watched any. Those I watch with you. See, I don't watch them. Now, if I start watching food shows all by myself, okay, then I need to get some
Then you
help.
need real help.
I need intervention then. I can't wait to watch some bread baking on my own.
Right, we watch the great baker shows. We
Yeah.
watch any
Well, it's more
like
competitions.
Yeah,
it's more of the
competitions
competition stuff, because it's kind of
around
cool to
food.
see.
Yeah.
People that can. I always admire people that can, like yourself, that can throw stuff together, and improvise, and just the creativity of it all. So it's like being
Right.
an artist. I respect that.
Right, right. All right. I know this sounds kind of vain. Describe me in 3 words.
Kind of vain.
Yeah, kind
now.
of vain.
That's it. 3 words. Kind of vain now.
No, describe me in 3 words.
Hmm?
Describe me in 3 words.
Just 3 words.
Just 3 words. This is on my obituary.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous on your obituary. Describe you in 3 words. Bright, beautiful, and bodacious.
The hell is bodacious?
I don't look that up.
I don't know what bodacious is.
I don't know either.
Oh. I don't know if I like those 3 words. I really don't like those 3 words. I would like to think
So then, see?
those
that's
are not
all-
my 3 words. Do not put that on my obituary.
Well, there you go. The 3 B's.
Bodacious.
BQ.
What the hell is bodacious?
BQ.
I would like to think creative, kind,
That starts with a K.
inquisitive. Those. Well, I didn't say what letter. I just said 3 words. All right, I'm gonna give you
How about
your
this?
3 words.
Bossy.
That's fine too. Bossy.
Bossy.
Bossy just means leader. Women, ladies out there, if you're called bossy, that just means you're a natural born leader. That's it. There's nothing wrong with being bossy. Okay. Let me give you your 3 words. I'll give you your 3 words. You want to hear my 3 words for you?
Do I have a choice?
All right. Sensitive, compassionate. Well, okay, I'll take away. I was just being silly with the sensitive, but
See.
compassionate, very smart.
No, that's 2 words.
Oh, smart,
No.
compassionate,
No.
loving.
No.
Yeah, you're very loving. He will do anything for his children. He'll do anything for me, you know. He puts himself last. He always puts himself last. Even though now I'm starting to wonder whether it's not just that you put yourself last, or if it's some people have that like, what do you call it? Like a cheap type of, like they'll say they don't buy anything fancy. That's just them. They're just not willing to spend. They're, cheapskates, basically, for Ken, not that he's like that for anybody else, but just for himself. He will wear shoes to the ground. He will wear things to the ground. He will not buy himself anything new. He will argue with you why you shouldn't buy anything new for him. So I don't know what that is.
Well, no, it's being. I mean,
frugal.
Frugal,
Yeah,
but I'm not even
frugal.
conscious of it. I mean, underwear has two sides, right?
Underwear should not have holes in them. If there's a hole in your underwear, it should be thrown out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Or I guess if you learn to sew and you have the patience to do that, you can do that. But yeah, sneakers should not be worn until you have holes in them. No, if you can afford it. I understand for those who may not be able to afford it, but when you can afford it, you should buy yourself nice things. Life is short.
I do like nice things.
Or he'll have the nice things, but he won't wear it. Here's the other thing. Kenton will have like a whole thing of nice watches, nice cufflinks, nice new shirts, but he won't wear it.
We're in a pandemic.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic. I'm talking about we've had how many years? 30 years together. I'm not talking about the last 2 years of the pandemic.
I'm not physically the same as the past 30 years. So, I mean, some things don't fit as well.
Okay, so I guess that's my hint. That's Christmas present, right?
No,
I need to buy some new clothes and new shoes. We got to get some new shoes.
Anyway, so folks, that's the thing. It's like, again, relationships is work, and it's kind of like you take the good with the not so good, the challenges, but I think the other thing we left out is that an integral part of any good relationship is humor.
Right.
You gotta cry together. You gotta laugh together.
You gotta find someone as crazy as you.
Or the opposite. No, I don't know. Two crazies. I don't know, man.
Or who appreciates your kind of crazy.
Yeah,
how about
that's
that?
it. That's the thing. That someone that enjoys your crazy, and it's just, again, it's like to sit there and make it a formula. There isn't. That's what makes it unique. Everyone,
right? Every combination is going to be
there. It's just like you just got to find someone that can just unlock that key. That can unlock that door, or to your heart. But again, it's like you gotta because life's going to throw you curveballs. So you just have someone that's in your pocket, that you can cry together, you can laugh together, and you can go through this journey of life.
Right.
So that's what it comes down to.
Right.
Answer these questions. Man.
Well, next time, come up with your own questions.
No, I want to do stuff, for the audience. Because that's the whole point, is to add value.
The audience or whoever's watching can leave us a question. But if they don't leave a question, I'm gonna come up with my own questions.
Yeah,
So help Kenton out. Leave him some questions for next time.
So anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and then again, next time is Thanksgiving. It's Black Friday next Friday.
Oh, wow, yeah. I don't know if we will or if we won't.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
I don't know if we will or we won't. I don't know. Maybe let us know. Should we? We'll see.
Yeah.
The children will be here at that time. Children, our young adults, will be here.
Yeah.
So that's nice. And definitely look out for more videos. I've not been very consistent, you may have noticed, but I've been working on a project which is coming along, and it will be out soon. I won't say too much more. You will definitely need to watch the videos to see. But yeah, working on something, and it's definitely coming along, so I'm excited about that.
I'm very excited for you, very proud. So yeah, it's been great. So, but and again, be safe. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And then if you can,
it's already Thanksgiving next Thursday.
And
wow.
and if you can, give, to a local food pantry. You have a lot of families that are food insecure because of the pandemic, or reach out to, those that are either isolated or shut in, or give to your favorite charities or your local children's hospital. I'm a big proponent of it. Even, shout out to St. Jude. We support St. Jude's Hospital. So if you can, anything you can do, that'd be great. Or to any of your local hospitals as well,
Or even local churches,
and
if you
local
have
churches.
local churches or
Yeah,
places of worship.
exactly, that are active,
Right.
that are, there are
That you
many
trust,
wonderful, many wonderful faith institutions that are out there that are, that basically they have food pantries. So if you can, if you have a Food Lion in your area or some different grocery stores,
Supermarket, yeah.
but with Food Lion, what they're doing is nice is that,
And this is not sponsored, right?
yeah,
Kenton Food
nothing's-
Line is not
nah.
paying you to say this.
absolutely not, not food, but here in the South, but in North Carolina, we have Food Lion, and Food Lion, if you spend $35, which is lower, because last year it was 45, here you only have to spend $35, then a turkey is only 39 cents a pound, so basically a 20-pound turkey is only like around $5, $6.
Wow.
So the thing
Imagine
is that
this giant turkey.
20 pounds, so you think that can feed a family
Wow.
of 6 to 8?
Wow.
So if you go and you just spend $35, you buy yourself a turkey, you can buy someone else a turkey, because $6 for 20 pounds, that's basically a Big Mac. You go to McDonald's, it's $6.89, $7 just for a Big Mac meal.
Right.
So here you
fed
buy
one person versus
you can feed a
feeding
whole family.
a whole family
Yeah.
and some.
And then some. So you can donate that, or also they offer, you can also donate $5 for and they match that. Food Line will match that and create a food box. So which is also a full meal for a family of like 5, I believe, or 6. So, and of course there's other companies that are doing stuff too, but I've just shout out because I just thought that was actually in these times was actually quite generous, considering that with all the supply shortages and stuff. So.
Right.
But again, we're very thankful for everyone, and we
Yeah,
love
and
you guys.
thank you. We hit like 34,000 subscribers, I think, either yesterday or day before.
Yeah.
Not sure. But yeah, thank you to each and every one of you that has subscribed, and even to those who haven't subscribed that watch us. We really appreciate it. And definitely look out for more videos coming soon. It's going to get good.
Yeah, you guys can see me sweat more. So,
Bye.
Take care of yourselves. God bless.
All right, Kent, you
Bye.
got to exhale.
Exhale.